Hey everyone, and welcome to the Eye Opener Studios.
Hey.
You have your hosts here, Hannah and Gary, and I want to welcome everybody again that's joining us, especially if you're joining us for the first time or even the second time, and especially if you're joining us from Apple or iTunes. We're so happy to have everybody on board. We had a long wait to get our show on there. We've been operating for quite a while, but I want to welcome everybody. Please catch up on some of the older shows. We are the Eye Opener Society, and you can follow us on our website. That's the best way to really see everything that we're about, and that's at eyeopenersociety.onpodium.co. You can go on there, see all of our past episodes and all that. You can follow us from there on your favorite platforms, and you can even sign up for emails that will notify you whenever Hannah and I get in the studio and release another episode. So, yeah, definitely sign up. And I'm going to promise to stay on top of the blogs on there a little bit more to give you a little bit more like behind the scenes and some deeper thoughts on some stuff too as well. So I want to jump into this episode. I'm going to just shoot it right out of a cannon here. Hannah, do you believe the earth is round or flat?
Round.
Okay. Well, don't worry about it. I mean, here's the funny, and I'm throwing it out because I started talking to a lot of people that I know and some people I work with. I've been asking the same question just out of curiosity, really. Now, you believe the earth is round, and your husband believes the earth is flat.
Yeah.
All right. Now, with that being said, both of you sleep well at night.
Yeah, we don't argue about it.
Exactly.
We're just sometimes he'll be he'll make factual points about it, and he'll kind of look at me like, "Are you dumb?" But he won't actually ask me "Are you dumb?" I'm just I just think it's round, and that's it. I don't have an argument. He actually has an argument, so it kind of grinds my gears a little bit. But I'm just I just think it's round, okay? And that's the end of the discussion.
And now it's interesting, and now the whole reason I'm bringing this up.
No, it's we actually sleep in different rooms just because of flat earth. And
Oh, is that what it really is?
Yeah,
okay, well, it happens sometimes.
I'm just kidding.
if the opinion is that strong.
No, I'm kidding.
But this really is what this show is actually going to be about. I didn't mean to trick people or anything when I said flat earth and we're going to sit here and discuss the flat earth. I mean, I certainly don't mind talking about it. However, I'm going to bring up some really important points on this because it's not so much about flat earth. I'm going to start going down a list of things. But really, this show is to let people know that there are people out there that have a different opinion, different beliefs, different theories, and quite honestly, me, even you, Hannah, we're on a show called the Eye Opener Society, and we deal with a lot of conspiracies. And this is going to really talk about when people are presenting something new, whether it be a theory, whether it be an opinion, you have to take the topic, and you're going to discuss the topic. We need to stop attacking people just because they are mentioning something, because it's this show. We just present to you, hey, here's the conspiracy, here's the theory, here's our thoughts. We're just presenting it. It's not there for us to say, this is the way it is. I have my beliefs, you have your beliefs.
This is not WebMD.
Right. Yeah, we're not WebMD. We don't have any sort of...
we're not any type of .gov website, you know?
Right, exactly. So we present these things and we talk about them. But I think this entire world has lost touch with basic humanity and basic discussions. And I know I had this rant before on our older podcast saying that... I hate comments. I'd rather have conversations, not comments. And that's why I don't pay any attention to comments most of the time. I prefer positivity. If you don't really agree with something, that's fine. I'm not going to sit here and force anybody to believe any religion. I'm not going to force people to believe that the earth is flat. I'm not going to force any belief. But that's what this here show is going to be about. We're going to talk about a few things. But that's why I just wanted to get your opinion. In your household, there's two separate, thoughts on this. And
I wonder what my mom thinks.
I never asked. I just never asked. And it's funny. I've been asking many people. I have not asked her. And
you didn't even ask your own wife.
I didn't even ask my own wife. I don't know. That'll be good. Maybe
I'm like, should I call her right now?
Yeah.
Hey, Mom.
I mean,
just real quick.
I mean, I would. I mean,
Okay,
why not? Go ahead. We're going to do this. This is the first time we've ever done this on a show. She's literally calling.
If she doesn't
her
answer,
mom.
I'm going to be so upset. I'll call Justin and be like, put my mom on the phone.
Yeah. So this is going to be pretty cool. But while we're waiting for her to answer the phone, I'm just going to go on down here. This is really interesting. I've never done this before. But yeah, I also want to. I know you said we're not WebMD, but we're not astronauts, we're not astrophysicists, we're not any kind of scientist. And that's also going to be important too down the line when we're going through this here show. Because we had a poolside talk once about this where we said that oh wait, we actually got something going here. Hang on, we're on the phone. This is actually going to be pretty cool.
Secret message for you, apparently.
We are on the air, by the way. So just
Hey, Mom.
What?
I want to know, do you think the Earth is flat or round?
Are you serious right now?
Yes.
Yeah, no,
we're on the air.
We're on the air. Like, is the Earth?
On the air. I am trying to watch a child. On the air.
All right, so we're not going to get any kind of seriousness out of it.
Flat or round? Flat or round?
All right,
It's
so
round.
it's round. Okay,
Okay,
great.
all
Thank
right,
you.
bye.
Thank you. All right. This was so spur of the moment. We never did that before.
I know. She made it difficult.
Yeah, she definitely made it difficult. All right, but we got a round out of that. All right, cool. So we got a
Two
round.
rounds,
And
two flats.
well, I haven't even given my theory yet.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, so and I'm saving that one for the end of the show actually.
Okay. So,
But yeah, so we got, and this is what I was running across. I think most of the people I spoken to, actually said the Earth is round, and I maybe came across one or two. But when I looked up some of the statistics, it says about 10% of those surveyed. Now, I didn't get any solid number. That's 10%. I mean, that's a decent
decent amount.
It really is and again, it all depends on how many people were actually surveyed and all. But here's what I did not like, and this is why I wanted to bring this conversation, because this is where being a higher self, being more conscious of yourself, being more aware, just basically being a human being, this is what comes into play. And this is why I think so many things are so messed up. When I just do a normal search on something like this, how many people believe, the world is flat? They'll give the statistics and then they tear apart that 10% of people who believe that the earth is flat. And I mean tear them apart.
yeah.
Basically, without saying they're stupid, they're basically calling them stupid. And here's something else that I don't want to go down a political show, but I swear to you, these results came back, and these were from scientific, surveys, the scientific community, and why I hold very little respect for them. They literally said those that believe that the earth is flat are Trump supporters. I'm
a Trump supporter. I'll just be real here. I'm a Trump supporter, and I believe it's round.
But this is what blows my mind. We have to label. We have to start throwing in different categories. We have to start,
we have to stop categorizing just because someone has a belief. Like they can assume their political status.
Yeah, like your political status really
Literally
should have nothing to do with
anything.
This. And this is what I'm talking about. This is what aggravates me to no end. We can no longer sit and have a conversation on anything anymore without something else being thrown in our face. Mm-hmm. I mean, listen, I've heard the term Trump derangement syndrome being thrown around so many. This just proves it. Like, did you really, this was, you're doing a statistic on something that is based on science, whether, you believe it's flat or round. If you're just doing a simple, statistic or survey, why the hell does that come into play? Why does politics now have to come into play? It blew my mind, and that's what drove me to do this episode in the first place. And when I just started doing the little background on it, it just solidified why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
I was so aggravated. I said, so let me go a little bit further. You and I did a poolside conversation on this already when we were talking about science, and trusting like the medical community and all. There seems to be a stick up the ass of the scientific community and the medical community just because they are scientists and lay people that might not understand everything.
Correct.
Are ridiculed by the scientific community. Now, I can't say the entire scientific community, but from what I could see, especially when I do these search results, why are we ridiculed? Some people are just basing things off of observational fact. Like, there are people that believe the earth is flat. They cannot comprehend a concept. The earth is round, and how the hell does water stay like on the South Pole and all? Like, I'm going to be completely real. I used to, myself, going back, like if you told me the earth was flat, I ridiculed you. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
And then I realized.
You opened your eye.
I opened my eyes, and then I had to open my eye because I went down some rabbit holes with this. But then I started just listening. I was all right, whatever. Some people believe. And now I started listening to them.
Yeah.
I started giving a little bit of credit because some of these people have actually done like their own research based upon a layperson doing this research, and they came up with a lot of stuff. And when I started watching a documentary, I sat there, I'm like, holy shit, is the world flat?
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there like kind of amazed at, and this is what I mean. Sometimes you don't have to believe anything, but sometimes it becomes extremely exciting to get involved in a different conversation, something that you're not comfortable with. And you might actually start saying, wow, you're bringing up some valid points.
Yeah.
Regardless if science could dismiss it or not, you really can start seeing things from a different point of view. And that's what we're
without
always
having
about.
negative thoughts about the person.
The person, exactly. Remove the ego. Remove the person. Just think about the topic. There's no reason to attack somebody because they got a different of opinion or view. I can't stress this enough. Really, I'm not talking about flat earth. I'm talking about perspective. I'm talking about human beings. I'm sure you and we've probably had some disagreements, on some of our topics. But again, the same thing. We don't hate each other in any way, shape, or form. Because we do a show together, and it's good to have that yin and the yang anyway. If we do have a difference,
we have like a respect for each other enough to like agree to disagree, and we don't just like lash out.
Exactly.
There's no point in lashing out. Like, I just will never understand how people have so much hate in them that they can just randomly go on, like, even if it's like a public article or something like that, and straight up call someone they have no idea. They could live in California and this person could be living in Delaware, and they're like, you're a stupid bitch. Like, you don't even know this person. How do you know they're a bitch, for one? And why are you going to call someone stupid? Like, what has the world come to that it's so, people are hateful. Just because someone has a different opinion than you. I will, sometimes I look at people who post things and like, I see their opinions and I'm just like, But you know what I do? I think about their opinions, and I know that my opinion's different, but I think about their opinion. I put their opinion into a perspective, and then I move on. I don't feel the need to comment on it. Even if I would like to have like a constructed, conversation, then that's when I like will really, really think about it. And sometimes I'll exit out and go back in and exit out and go back in and really think about it. And then I'm like, you know what? I don't even need to have a conversation because, I had that conversation within myself and I read what they were saying and I know what I would say, and that's it. That's the end of it. I had the conversation without actually having to have a possible spark of argument.
Exactly. And like I said, the anger and
the hatred.
It literally is like, okay, you told me you believe the earth is round, and let's say I had a difference of opinion. I don't sit here feeling like I gotta strangle you or punch you in the face because you got a different opinion.
He's actually strangling me right now. No, I'm kidding.
But this, and so let's remove flat earth for a second. I want to bring up something else. This happens with everything, and I'm going to bring up some real touchy subjects where people wind up hating each other. religion.
I was going to say that.
We're at war. Well, actually we are. We're at war. The whole world is at war, and we don't really, comprehend that right now, but we really are. And it's all based upon religion.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's who's got the better religion. And that's what it's boiling down to, because nobody can sit in any one room with two different religions, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I never understood that concept. This is why I stepped away from all that mainstream religion, because of the hatred that everybody has, and you claiming to be so high and holy, and then you just want to high and holy strangle somebody just because they believe in a different religion.
Or they go off of like the Bible or something.
Yeah, or just
or
praying
whatever.
to a different god or goddess or whatever it might be. And this has got to stop. But now, religion, of course, that's a real touchy thing. But listen, I'm going to shoot another one out to you. Sports.
Yep.
Okay?
Oh, cars.
Cars. Now, I was going to mention that. Yeah. Cars and motorcycles. All right.
Yeah.
I take this because I ride a motorcycle. Now, there's always subgroups of everything.
Yeah.
There's the cruiser. There's the sport bike, cafe racer. And again, it's all who's better.
Yeah.
And it becomes down to hateful arguments, just like with sports. Your mom used to love football. Mm-hmm. And she used to go and talk to some friends that had a different team that they liked. And instead of just the playful banter, it was attacking her. They began attacking her weight. And I mean, these are friends, supposedly. And she lost friends over it. And I was like, that's it. I'm done with sports. I'm done with all this nonsense, all this hate, and all of this divide. And I said, really, you're supporting people that are making millions of dollars. And you are stupid enough to go and buy their jersey and wear it on your back and defend them, and they don't even know your damn name. That's how I look at it.
It's like I get, like, people have, like, a diehard vendetta to them, but it's to the fact where it's like they literally would not even blink if they saw you. And it's nothing against them. They work hard. They go out there. They risk their bones when they're playing these games, for entertainment, and it's actually like, it's entertainment to people, but it's like a job for them. Like they pursued a job in what they love to do. But like the whole sports thing, it does get out of hand. Like there's no reason to do it,
Right.
Regardless of who wins, what it has nothing to do with the fans.
Yeah. And I don't care who wins or loses, you got to get up and go to work in the morning.
Yeah.
That's just the way I see it. And
so who cares who you support? Just be like, oh, cool. You like the Ravens? That's awesome. You like the Steelers? Cool. Mm-hmm. Let's be friends. Like, who cares?
Who cares? Exactly.
Your team won, mine didn't. Your team beat mine. That was a good game your team played. Exactly. End of discussion.
Right. It does. And here's another one too. Music.
Yeah. Oh, that's a big one.
People jump down each other's throat over music. Mm-hmm. And music to me is the most subjective form. It's any kind of
music
art.
is like my therapy.
Right.
So I get defensive sometimes about it. But I'm just like, you know what? I will go from hood to country in a swipe of a song, or a screamo. Like, I just have like such a wide variety of genres. But like when I was younger and I would be listening to like different, alternative musics and things like that, people would be like, what is wrong with you? Ew, you like screamo? Like, you like that? And I was like, yeah. Because when you're listening to music, people don't pay attention to the lyrics anymore. They're so focused on just the beat. But if you actually listen to the music and like the words and just being able to relate to words, music is so therapeutic. But it is actually insane how people judge people and bite at their throats because of, oh, you like that type of music, you're a devil worshiper or something like that. Exactly. Like, it is insanity.
See, it really is. And this is why I say it gets out of hand after a while, because we create all these subgenres of everything. Like you said, cars, motorcycles, music, religion. And then each subgenre thinks they got the greatest thing in the world, and you have to attack everybody else. And my perspective on things, when I started the whole meditation and I started stepping out into a higher perspective world, you just see things from above and things just play out before you. And removing the ego is the first thing you got to do. This way you can actually sit, talk, discuss. Because at the end of the day, listen, no matter what you believe, whether the world is round or flat, you're going to go to bed at night and you're going to wake up in the morning and you're going to be the same person because of your beliefs. It doesn't change anything. I'm going to hit a little bit more on the flat earth because, again, I mean, I did bring it up. It is part of the topic, but I watched a documentary on it because, like I said, I was like, and I think I was more aggravated because, like I said, I used to be the same where I was so critical of people who thought the earth was flat. And the thing really was, is I never heard them out. And since there was a documentary, I was like, oh, let me watch it and see. And it opened my eyes. And you know me, I'll go down any rabbit hole you throw at me. I enjoy it. And especially now, because I believe no matter what's out there, no matter how far-fetched, there's always a little bit of truth in everything. And with this flat earth, and of course I'm not, it's called Behind the Curve. That's the documentary that I had watched. There is a guy, he was the main focus of the show. I don't know if he was a director or what, but Mark K. Sargent. If you look him up like on YouTube and all, his name is really big in this flat earth world. Theory. And he went on, he did this documentary, and he's just a regular guy, and he was the same one. He believed the earth was round and all that. And then he just started, I think it was just out of boredom, and he started picking up books and started reading and all. And his whole mind and his whole concept changed. And he said, the earth is flat. And here's why I think that. I don't know the guy. I don't know the guy from Adam. But when he spoke, he made a lot of sense. And he didn't make just so much sense on his argument for the flat earth, but he made a lot of sense on the fact that why the hell are we arguing? Why can't we come together? Why can't scientists, the ones that are saying that the earth is round, why can't scientists help people understand why the earth is round, or help the people who believe the earth is flat to help them prove that the earth is flat? And that's what he was trying to do. They started trying to do so many experiments. But here's the thing, and this is where my theories come into play. We are so indoctrinated from our schooling that the earth is round. I mean, it's where we come. But let's go way, way back in time when everybody believed that the earth was flat. We had no other idea or concept of knowledge. We thought the earth was flat. And it wasn't until like 17th century and all started to change, because that's when astrology and all that started to come into play and we became more advanced. And in the 17th century, I don't know how advanced we were, but it seems like, Christ, we made a lot of things much more advanced back then than we do now. So I'm going to go now to the Bible. And there was something, I don't know how many people heard of it, but the firmament.
I've never heard of it.
Never heard of it. And you see, and this is where a lot of the flat earth theory comes into play, because it's in the Bible, and I think it's in one of the book of Genesis. Something. Forgive me, because I'm not very good at, I was raised Catholic and all, but I reading the book back, and I never really got too involved in the book of Genesis. But it was actually an early Hebrew concept of the cosmos. So basically, the earth is flat, all right? Then there is a upper, like celestial, like a curvature, basically like our atmosphere. And then there's the upper sea. So, and you got to look this up to really, because it's more of a visual, but I'm trying to explain. So you have the flat earth, and it's covered in this dome. And basically on the upper half of this dome is basically where heaven is. And that's where everybody says, heaven's above, know. And there's supposed to be another sea, like oceans, that is separated by this firmament, by this dome. And then there's seas above it. And that's coming from just the old Hebrew concepts.
That's where Atlantis is.
Atlantis, that's another thing. And when you're looking like me, I believe in more of the Hermetic philosophies, as above, so below. Many people heard that term too. So the oceans above, the oceans below. So it makes sense that there is probably some people that are very religious that will believe in this firmament. And that's where a lot of that comes from. Now, fast forward into modern times and all that, we got to study a little bit too on science. We were indoctrinated. It's just, you're told 2 + 2 = 4. And you're told that, right from the beginning. But now look at how we're getting there. Now it's a 1 + 1 + 1 +, with this new math and all. We're changing ideas again, and everybody's complaining about that too. You're getting to the same place. You're doing it differently. And I think that's what the people who believe in the flat earth are doing. They're trying to get to the same concept, but they're trying to prove it in their own way. Because most of them are not scientists, and that's what's going on. But we also understand, now I know we haven't really gotten my answer on this, if I believe the earth is round or flat, but we could go with the moon landing. Do you believe that was real or faked?
I believe it's real.
Okay. And I'm not going to sit here and strangle you. I am firm. I did so much looking into this, and I cannot believe we went to the moon. I just don't. And my whole reason behind it is, if we did, we would have had shuttles back and forth to the moon by now. We would have built McDonald's and Dollar Trees all over the moon by now.
Not
all
the
right.
Dollar Tree.
Yeah, I mean, we would have been there, or Dollar General, whatever.
Yeah, we haven't gone back.
Yeah. We have not gone back. Now, we supposedly have vehicles, unmanned things up on Mars, driving all over, although it looks like Arizona to me, but I've never been to Mars, so who knows?
That I don't believe. I don't think we went to Mars.
I don't think we're at Mars. I just don't.
I don't.
But we supposedly have all this stuff out there, but people, back when was that? 60? Oh, man. When did we land on the moon? 65? Whatever. I just don't believe we had the technology then. Now, if we fast forward to now, 2023, we have all sorts of advancement in everything.
1969.
69. Now listen.
Apollo 11.
Yeah, listen. We had chest hair and huge collars. That was the 70s, the birth of the 70s. Technology was low.
I wasn't born.
Yeah, I wasn't even born in 69. And I came a year later, and yeah, corduroy pants was the biggest rage at the time.
I fuck with corduroy pants.
Yes. All right. Well, hey, listen. I just think they rub thighs together. They'll set
I think
you on
they're cute
fire.
on Caden, like my son. Poor kid. Now I'm rubbing his thighs together. Gotta get rid of them. Great.
But I just don't feel that we had the technology back then. Now, if we did manage to go to the moon back then in 69 with that low technology, then by now we really should have been going back and forth.
Yeah.
That's just my thing. And believe me, I think every country in it would be back and forth.
Yeah, I always question like I believe it, but like then there's like something in the back of my mind where it's like kind of like an argument with myself. It's just like, then why haven't we gone back? Like why only go once? Right. Like when you go on vacation, unless it was like a really shitty vacation, like do you not want to go back? Oh, yep, I went to Florida once. Don't need to go again. Like what?
Yeah. And now that brings up another good point. Like you're questioning yourself sometimes. And that's what happens to me. Like I could sit and believe one thing real firm, but if you present a concept to me and you're blowing my mind and I'm saying, I'll start siding with you. Yeah. And that's what I mean. I just don't start an argument over it. I can hear you out. When we have guests on our show, what do? We allow them to talk. Yeah. Promote yourself. Go for it. We don't interject anything.
No.
We don't interject our beliefs.
Look at someone and be like,
Yeah.
Like,
go for it, man. Be your merry self. I'm not going to sit there and destroy somebody. I let you talk and I will sit and I will give you my time.
Yeah. I know we had a guest on the show one time. I think it might have been when we were doing the lives. Who was a very strong, like within like the pagan community and, not really big on like Christian people. And here I am. I was sitting there the entire time as a Christian woman.
Right.
And, at the end of it, I kind of threw it at the curveball and I was like, you know what? Like, I respect like what you're saying. Like, I hear what you're saying, and I took the time and I like listened to her and I was like, well, just so you know, like I am a Christian woman. Like I believe in God. I've had personal experiences to confirm my beliefs and, they were private to me. So I didn't, express to share them, but I sat there and I didn't argue. I didn't be like, nope, we got to end the show. Like, screw you. You know what I mean? Like, I just sat there and I listened to her opinion and I thought about, what she was saying and what she believed. And I was like, you know what? Cool. She believes that. I believe this. All right.
That's how we live as human beings,
It takes a lot to get there though.
It does.
I'm not going to sit here and tell people that I'm like the wonderful, like I was always this wonderful, non-judgmental person. Because, when I was younger, I was probably hateful. I've been in quite a few Facebook arguments, MySpace arguments with people, and it's strictly about like their opinions, But now it was just like, since I like, really started like, paying attention to like my mental state and, meditating and everything like that, I just became this like, I let go of my ego and I became, more of a clear person. I just swipe now if I don't agree. And I'm honestly like, not to call my husband out or anything, but like, I'm still working on that with him, like we've had people in the past that have done us wrong. And, I used to be like, oh, I fucking hate them, and now it's just like, you know what? I wish them well. Sometimes I'll joke around and be like in hell, but I'm like, you know what? I wish them well. It didn't work out. I learned life lessons through those friendships that I had that have come and go. And that's the end of it, and like sometimes like my husband, he'll just like hold like a little bit of grudge. And I'm just like, like that was so long years ago that it's just like, it helped you develop into a person that you are now because you learned from those experiences. But it takes a long time to learn those deep meanings. And I think more people need to do that instead of just gathering hate and just like bubbling it in. Just take the experience or take the opinion and just, think about it and release it and then go on with your life.
Yeah. Just move on. It's
move on.
You're right. You move on is because it is difficult to get to that point because we seem to, as human beings, we seem to take everything as a personal attack. Now I get it. Listen, it's a little bit different where if it is a personal attack, like, Hannah, fuck you, the world is flat. Okay, that's different than me saying I believe the world is flat. There's a difference between a personal attack and, someone just presenting their ideas and their thoughts. It comes from a person's personality. It comes from their beliefs. I'm going to throw a word out there because I know there's probably some listeners who probably believe that the earth is flat. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot of good arguments. All right. And everybody's going to say, oh, we have pictures from outer space. But again, I question that we actually been to space. Yeah. So where the hell are these pictures coming from? This is NASA. This is 2023. NASA actually has been caught doctoring a lot of photos. And there's a lot of evidence out there.
Who just went to the moon with their documented picture? With their botched pictures?
Yeah, what was it? India went up there with that.
Yeah. No, that was that was a meme.
Literally.
That was a meme.
It had to be because, do we even hear anything about it anymore?
No, listen. I'm a firm believer that did not occur.
I got to say the same thing. Like, I don't even believe, like, I would believe if somebody said, hey, we went to the moon right now because of our technology, but that literally looked like a 1980s video game, man. That was, but you see, this is what I mean. It's like, again, I'm not attacking a country or anything, saying that they don't have the technology.
Maybe they did,
Who knows?
Maybe this camera was just really bad. But I'm not going to sit there and be like, screw you, you're wrong, you're a liar.
Yeah.
I'm just going to
gotta say is, I don't believe it.
I don't believe it.
I can't look at something this day and age, 2023, and it looks like a Dire Straits video from like 1988.
An Atari, a better image.
Right. It's really, that's what makes me question a lot of things. I don't want to be hateful of anybody, and I'm not, you could say, hey, you went there or we went to the moon. You could say whatever you want. I believe you, but there's things I can't wrap my fingers around. Yeah. And this is the same thing with the moon landing. Originally, I just can't wrap my hands around the technology then compared to the technology now. And we just had dudes floating out on the moon, hanging out, chilling. Like it was no big deal. But yet we can't get people up there now. It just seems weird to me, but that's just my thought around it. And this goes right back to the flat earth and the people that do believe that the earth is flat. Hey, I will listen to you 100%. When I spoke about chemtrails, I know that's another hot topic. I don't care how much proof they throw down your face. There's going to be people that just don't believe it. That's fine. You could say it's contrails and it's all natural. I could turn around and say otherwise. But to attack me is irrelevant. I'm angry at the whole chemtrail thing. I really am. But I'm facing my anger towards the chemtrails themselves. I don't attack any person who doesn't have the same views as I do. And it's the same thing with flat earth. I listen to these people through documentary and, I've seen all the stuff about flight patterns, and like I said, it could probably easily explained away with science, but at the same time, sometimes science don't make sense, and sometimes these people make more sense.
I'm gonna throw something in here.
Go for it.
Big, kind of like on like, you know, the topic of like science and, you know, medical professionals. Let me tell you how many people will just be hard on, you know, parents or just like anyone in general. You know, you post you're sick. Hey, does anyone have any opinions for this? Mm-hmm. And they'd be like, oh, well, WebMD tells you to do this, or my doctor told me to do this. Let me tell you something. The people that crack on those old wives' tales, you need to listen. Like, you know, I'm not saying you need to, but open your eyes to those old wives' tales. You know, maybe even give it a try once, or just kind of keep an open mind to it. Because I will be one to tell you right now, I have had medical advice versus trying out old wives' tales. And those old wives' tales, 80% of the time for me, have worked very well. So that's just like another opener, like for me, is that, you know, I was just so like, oh, my doctor told me to do this. Oh, my doctor told me to do that, you know, and frankly, I was just so tired of hearing about it. So I started to like listen to those people that were like, oh, we'll try this. Oh, we'll try that. Cause I was kind of closed-minded on that. I was like, no, my doctor told me to do this. You're wrong. That's baloney. But then I started actually trying it out. And now it's like, something's happening and I'm like, I got to sleeve up my book, and I kind of create my own wives' tales, because it's just like I try it out and it works. Like the other day, we went to the store. I picked up that clove mix with all these different spices.
The mulling spices.
Yeah. And I picked up some cinnamon. And when I tell you, I was in such like a really bad funk. I wasn't feeling well. You know, I was just feeling like really insecure that day. I was like, you know what? This will make me feel better. This will clear me up. Cause I was just kind of like feeling under the weather too. Like my mental was so bad that like my health was just feeling like it was declining. I boiled that on the stove, and you can ask Gary here. He'll attest. Like I was just like, I lit up. I didn't feel crappy anymore. My stomach didn't hurt anymore. And it just like, I was like, you know what? This healed me. Like I kind of like spoke it into existence for me. So I just feel like with like those wives' tales, it's just like, do whatever works for you. Try different things. Right. And I will never just be closed-minded like I was about old wives' tales. So my grandmother, she was a big one. She still tells me to this day. I'll call her up and be like, hey, what do I do for this? And it works so well. So I don't even have to like, you know, 9 times out of 10 go to the doctor for myself.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, some of the worst medical advice I ever got is usually from doctors. And let's face it, I don't think, you know, again, the medical community is all indoctrinated. You have to do it this way. But here's my thing. Free thinkers. That's what I believe flat earthers are. Free thinkers. Yeah. You could think freely. You have the right to your own speech. You have the right to, you know, go out there and say what you believe without being attacked for it. Be a free thinker. Start opening your eyes, then open your eye, because we need to start seeing things from a different perspective. We need to start becoming more human about this.
Yeah. We need to start being united, not divided.
Because again, we go into politics, we go into cars, we go into music, but we all share different views and opinions, and that's what makes life really exciting. And if I had to have an argument with everybody because of a different type of music or a different type of bike that they ride, I would be a very miserable person.
Yeah, because like I feel like people don't realize is that like, yeah, you can have a different opinion about others, but like to down someone, you have no idea what that person's going through. They could be having a really shitty day and they're playing a song. Like, let's say their windows are down and they're jamming out, and then you're screaming at them being like, that music sucks. Or like even just something small. Like you don't know how much that small opinion that you're screaming at them can affect them. So just be kind. Be a kind person. If you have an opinion, you know what? If it's not nice, keep it to yourself. But if you have an opinion that you like can have like a discussion, have a discussion. Don't have an argument.
Right.
Don't be mean.
That's it. Be a free thinker.
Yeah.
Now, before we end it up, I guess you got to ask me the question.
Drum roll, please.
You want to ask me the question
Is
again?
the earth flat or round?
I don't believe it's either. I believe in the hollow earth theory.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay.
All right. Maybe that's for another podcast for another day, because that's another rabbit hole.
Wait, isn't that
I
the
went
thing that
down.
was, I think one of the Planet of the Apes or something? No, I don't know.
It might be,
Not
but
Planet of the
hollow
Apes.
earth, I'll
One
go
of them.
down that. I'll go down that road
Yeah.
someday, but we already did a whole podcast right now, so we'll save for another day.
Yeah.
But anyway, we would like to thank you again for listening to our show, for dealing with us, and dealing with the whole flat earth, because I know that riles people's feathers for some reason, but hopefully now, after you realize, free thinkers. Be a free thinker. See things from a different perspective.
Be kind.
Be kind. And also believe in what you believe in.
Spread love.
Spread love. And
hate.
yeah, because you'll sleep a lot better rather than worrying about other people's opinions, other people's thoughts, other people's theories. Because you know what? A lot of round earthers might really wake up one morning and there'll be proof that the world is flat. How are you going to feel then?
Yeah.
You know, let's be real. It's possible, 100% possible, that they could find proof that the world really is flat. So listen, that's why I say always keep an open mind, people. Thank you again for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
It's been great. And again, Apple, iTunes people, thank you for joining us. And please keep tuning in. Follow us at eyeopenersociety.onpodium.co. We're also on Facebook too. You can search Eye Opener Society. You'll find our sites and all. You can follow us there and all that. I hate having people follow us all over the place. There's so many different social medias out there, but we are on Facebook. We're on Instagram, but I don't really use it that much. I don't even use X anymore, but we're there. So, all right. Thank you.
Yeah,
We'll
thank
see
you.
everybody soon. Take care.